Hi, my name is Jeff Retz. Welcome to Actuaries News Broadcast. Here's the latest high-impact market news for the week ending March 17th. The equity market saw Dow jump to another record high again, but closed slightly lower at 14,514. Nonetheless, Dow did close the week higher. Meanwhile, 10-year yield spiraled lower and finally gave up 2% level. Overall development argues that markets were getting cautious ahead of this week's FOMC meeting, and more importantly, Fed will release new economic projections. It should be noted that Bernanke and Yellen have both recently said stimulus would remain in place for a while, even though economic data would show continuous improvement. Based on current economic outlook, there is little chance for Fed to expand stimulus program, and that is dollar supportive. Meanwhile, continuing stimulus, while economic momentum improves, is stock supportive. At the beginning of this week, Euro weakened to its lowest level this year, while stocks and commodities slumped as an unprecedented levy on Cyprus banks' savings threatened to throw Europe back into crisis. Cypriot president, who bowed to demands by Euro area finance ministers to raise 5.8 billion euros by taking a piece of every bank account in Cyprus, appealed to lawmakers in Nicosia to ratify the levy today. The vote was delayed from Sunday over to the opposition of the European Central Bank amid talks to restructure the tax. While Cyprus accounts for less than 0.5% of the 17-nation euro economy, the rate on bank accounts risks triggering new convulsions in the financial crisis that began in 2009 in Greece. In the week ahead, investors will be focusing on Wednesday's Federal Reserve policy statement, amid speculation over an earlier than expected end to the bank's asset purchase program. Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke is to give a press conference after the release of the policy statement. Investors will be also awaiting minutes from the BOE's March meeting and the UK government's annual budget statement. Elsewhere, Japan is to release official data on the trade balance on Thursday. The dollar fell to one-week lows against the euro on Friday, as data indicating the U.S. inflation is contained gave the Federal Reserve leeway to continue with its asset purchase program. Sentiment on the dollar was also hit after data showed the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index dropped to 71.8 in March, the lowest level since December 2011. The disappointing data sparked profit-taking ahead of an upcoming Federal Reserve policy meeting after a recent string of strong U.S. economic data reinforced optimism over the country's economic recovery and saw the dollar strengthen across the board. In the week ahead, investors will be focusing on Wednesday's Federal Reserve policy statement and also awaiting data on Germany's ZEW economic index. The dollar was sharply lower against the yen on Friday after U.S. data indicating inflation is contained left the way clear for Federal Reserve to continue its quantitative easing program. Core consumer prices, which exclude volatile food and energy costs, rose 2% year on year. In December, the U.S. Central Bank said an exceptionally low target interest rate is appropriate as long as inflation isn't forecast to rise to more than 2.5%. In the week ahead, investors will be focusing on Wednesday's Federal Reserve policy statement. Meanwhile, Japan is to release closely watched government data on the trade balance on Thursday. Finishing up our broadcast is the multi-trader section. Today's multi-trader strategy is Mohamed Investor FX1, which is one of the average risk strategies. It made a 3.58% profit last week, and today we have chosen its percentage of winning trades and average win-loss ratio. This strategy has won 58% of the 121 trades made in the last 3 months, with an average win-to-loss ratio of 1.51. All of these strategies with information about performance and other characteristics can be found on our website. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great day. Goodbye.